Can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Keitha Robinson. I am the current library director for Southwest College of Houston Community College. I've been in this position since late mid-August of last year, so it's been about 7 months. Prior to that, I was one of the public services librarians at the Houston Community College Southeast College, the East Side campus, of which I had worked there 13 years full-time. But I had started there as a part-time adjunct librarian working weekends. And so for 20 years, I did that while I had full-time employment at other corporations and libraries. So by taking this position, I had to stop working part-time, which has been kind of nice because I now have evenings and my Saturdays, of which as a library director, the colleges, there are 6 colleges to Houston Community College. We have the Central, Southwest, Southeast, Northeast, Northwest, and district. So that includes like 7. So under each of the colleges, they have a number of campuses. So Southwest College has 4 campuses, West Loop, Stafford, Missouri City, and Brace Oaks. But there's only libraries at 3 of those 4 locations. So we have full service libraries at the West Loop and Stafford campus. And within the Missouri City campus, we have staff that are there partial days that share space within the tutoring department that has been labeled as the Digital Access Center. So I go back and forth. So I spend my time between the 2 larger libraries. And so that has been very rewarding, and I'm loving my role and just making things happen for the staff. So I am very happy to be here today to offer you a presentation. I heard that I'm the first librarian to do this, so that's kind of cool. So the topic title is Put the Power of Librarians Behind You. So on my agenda, I have a few things on here. So I have a slide that will do a welcome. I just did my introduction. Then I will talk about the power behind the librarians, who we are. Then talk about how boosting faculty's knowledge. Then discuss extensive services beyond the basic instruction. Some testimonials, of which I would like you all to participate when we get to one of the slides live, where you can use the chat box to put in your comments. And then concluding with some Q&A. I have been a corporate trainer for a number of companies. I had worked for John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I'm a native New Yorker, so I had attended school there. So my BS degree is in forensic science, but in my junior year, I started working in the library. So that was back in 1978. So I got like 45 years working in various types of libraries, but I've been a professional librarian for the last 37 years. So I worked at John Jay College in New York. Then I relocated to Houston and worked at University of Houston's main campus. I was manager of automated cataloging there. Then I went on to Texas Instruments, where I was the site library manager at that engineering company. And then from there, information providers like Thompson Dialogue, where I was a corporate trainer and traveled 4 days out of the week and training customers. And then Chemical Abstract Service, I was a trainer for them as well. And that was in Ohio, but I was based here. And then I took the full-time job with HCC back in 2010. So part of this is that I always like to have subtitles, but this subtitle, I had to treat it like a summary because it's way too long. But the subtitle to this presentation is Discover How Librarians Can Boost Your Knowledge with Extensive Services Beyond the Basic Instruction to Enhance Your Success in the Classroom and Beyond. So within this presentation, I will be talking I'll be sharing with you some things about me that are related, and also to give some kudos to Houston Community College librarians for some things that they have done and some things that they are doing. And I did notice that some of the faculty that are attending this session are from Houston Community College. So I appreciate your support. And I just hope everybody who is here today will find something that's useful to take away from this presentation, especially coming from the standpoint of a librarian who, for Houston Community College, we are faculty members. We were treated as faculty members at University of Houston's main campus, where the downtown campus librarians had staff levels. Okay, so the power behind the librarians, who are we? Well, regarding employment, did you know that librarians that work for Houston Community College bring decades of work experience, knowledge, and skill sets with them? They have worked in academic public school and special libraries. For me, I've worked in academic libraries. I did volunteer work at my neighborhood public library. I did volunteer work at my daughter's school, elementary school library way back many years ago. And then I worked at a special library. We also have backgrounds in corporation work. I had worked for 2 corporate companies as a corporate trainer. And so that provides more experience because of the content that we bring to the faculty and to our library patrons that we serve. Well, librarians work in various aspects within their institutions. Some work for public services. Those are your reference librarians that do the research, find resources, they do collection development, etc. Then there's those that work within technical services. And that's how I started off my professional career, was in cataloging. And they are, to me, the heart of any library, just as I feel that libraries are the heart of any organization on the planet. So technical services covers like cataloging, database maintenance, acquisitions, etc. Circulation activities, when you go into a library, you want to check out a book, that's the circulation services. So they handle those types of services. This is where also as faculty, if you have extra copies, so I'm going to plug on course reserves, because your students do come to the libraries when they are unable to pay for the textbooks outright. So they'll come to a library in hopes that you have left a copy of your latest edition of a textbook where they could use it within the library. So the libraries do welcome you to, either loan us or just give us a copy of the textbooks that that you're using for the semester. And if the editions have not changed, we also, again, welcome you to stop by, visit us, to let us know and check with us to find out what do we have on the shelves. Again, the materials do not leave the library unless you leave us instructions that the student may take it home for a couple of days. But other than that, it becomes library use only. And it's a 2-hour limit, but we do not chase after the students unless another student comes and we do log the time that someone is borrowing the materials. We also accept course articles. So if you have articles that you want your students to read for assignment, those types of items are left at the circulation desk. We also have librarians who are in management. And I've had a management past in my career, and I'm currently in a management position. We also have librarians who are information professionals that deal with various types of systems. There are librarians that are archivists. We have corporate librarians, librarians that had past life as being trainers and working with various types of systems. So we bring to you at community college that vast type of experience. So at HCC, We also have librarians that work as instructors. I was for, I think, 7, 9 years. I taught the library science class and I taught in person. When COVID happened, we, as you know, we all were working from home. Sessions were taking place. We all had to go through the training, those at Houston Community College, and some of you others may have had to do the same thing at your institutions, is to get up to speed on how to do online teaching. So I decided then in 2020 of that spring semester to stop teaching because my preference was to only teach in person. But we do have, and we did have librarians that love to teach online, and they were doing that prior to COVID and afterwards. But then we heard in 2023 that ACC had dropped the library science program. It was a 1 credit class, but it was a necessity class, especially for students that were in Education 1300, students that were enrolled in English 1301 and 1302. It gave them the background to understand how to do research, how to evaluate the resources, and be able to find the materials, be able to do their course assignments. So that was unfortunate that they had decided to drop it last year. And then we have some librarians that still teach history to this day at HCC and then also at some other institutions. We have librarians that are also tutors. They teach on the college level as well as the public school levels. They also teach there the library science, English, and also in ESL. How educated are we? Well, did you know that to be a professional librarian, the minimum educational requirement is a master's degree. So prior to my becoming a library director in my public services librarian role, I taught a number of library orientation classes, of which one of them was the Education 1300 class, where they had to work on a career essay paper. And when we're talking about and showing them like Occupational Outlook Handbook and some other resources that, you need to take a look and see what the minimum educational requirement is for the career path that you're thinking of. So I would always show them the librarian one because the minimum is a master's degree. Now, some states, I can vouch for New York because I grew up there. In New York, to work as a professional librarian, it requires you to have 2 master's degrees. So I know at the college, at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, which is an academic institution, the librarians had to have 2 masters to be employed. And then when some were hired, without a second master's, they were given 2 years to complete it, or they would no longer have their jobs. So little things like that are really important. And let me tell you, Texas does not require librarians to have 2 master's degrees. It's because some states do not see library science as a discipline. So that's why they require librarians to obtain a second master's. Some of us, like me, while we were going through working on our library information science degrees, chose to do a subject specialization. Mine was medical. So I attended the Downstate Medical Hospital in Brooklyn, New York, to take my medical science classes. But so a number of librarians, no matter where they are, most likely have chosen to do a subject specialization. That way, in their employment, that's another skill set they have for collection development and doing presentations of the sort. Now, some librarians throughout the world also have multiple degrees. Some of them have additional bachelor's degree. We have librarians at ACC that have additional degree in in art. We have ones that have second masters, and I just show some of them here, like in post-secondary education, masters in history. We have someone with a PhD in history, and someone who has just finished their course. Well, they finished their coursework, do not know when, but they haven't done the dissertation aspect of it. But soon, hopefully, that person will obtain their post-secondary education PhD. So we bring to you, if you did not know, more than just knowledge of working in a library. A lot of us are very experienced in a number of subject areas. And like you, with multiple degrees, the librarians are the same. So I just kind of want to show you this. We are the daring librarians. We are the superheroes of the faculty, okay, and the students and any educational institution. So, you know, we are lifelong teachers. We defend the rights. We are change agents. We look forward to teaching anyone how to properly search for information, how to determine something's authoritative and credible, show them how to use the different computer systems and how to do really good research, to do really good research papers and beyond. And the goal of a community in a community college is that we are definitely all hoping, as well as you, that students will not just get their associate degree or their various certifications, that they will look forward to transferring to a four-year institution to obtain their bachelor's degree, hopefully their master's degree, and then hopefully a doctorate, and then come back and teach at our respective institutions. So part of the power of librarians is that for us to be successful, we need to do that first to help you be successful. When you're successful, then you help your students to be successful. So what can we do for the faculty? Well, faculty, it's critical for them to be experts in their field. So you're involved with developing your curriculum and the management of it. You always look for ways to enhance your teaching effectiveness. You also are increasing your knowledge on different technology changes regarding the classroom and the technology within those classrooms for the modalities that you teach in person, online, hybrid. Your faculty knowledge also helps your students to be successful for completion, retention, for them to graduate and have that continued lifelong learning. Other things you do besides teach is you're also looking at your own personal advancement, educational wise. I know for my career from Southeast College, the Eastside campus, I had helped a number of faculty over the years I was there in reviewing their master's and their doctoral dissertations, and I would proofread their bibliographies in their APA format. So I did spend quite a bit of time on that. Then there were some instructors that would contact me to say, okay, my students are turning in their papers. Can you take a look at their bibliography to see if anything had been plagiarized? So we are here for you. Besides just doing research at a reference desk, there's lots of different ways that we can help you be successful for yourself as well as in your teaching. And what we'd like to do, and this is something that we all do, and also at your own institutions, if you're not at HCC, is that librarians will reach out to you, but we also would like you to reach out to us. We want to build those collaborative partnerships with you, because that way, since you are working your curriculum and creating assignments for your classes, we want to make sure that we have the proper up-to-date information in our libraries, whether it's something that's physical or electronic resources. So we want to build those collaborative partnerships with you. And if some of you, if you have not been to your respective libraries, I'm hoping that after the end of this, you will pay them a visit and find ways that you can work hand in hand. So you'll all know about just basic library orientations, but here I'm going to be providing you some extensive services beyond the basic orientation in these areas that I hope that you find useful. So on this slide here, I have listed what they are. So I'm going to go ahead and take these one by one, but I'm not going to read all of this. Okay, I just want to single out some things. And I will make sure that this presentation is provided to you. That way you can have it as a resource. So let's take a look at first at reference and research support. So what I want to kind of take you through here is that we do provide, in this first bullet here, personalized research consultation. You can contact your library and speak to your librarians and set up an appointment with them to have them walk you through their online catalog. Okay. And I highly recommend that because things are constantly being updated and removed, and you should be in the know. And the part of that reason is your curriculum, your assignments, if you do not update them on a regular basis, there may be assignments or parts of your assignments that material is no longer available. So your students will have an issue in locating the information for it. So it's always good to periodically, once a year or so, is to sit down with your librarians and to see what's going on and what all that library has to offer regarding services on site and remotely. Also, what we look forward to is helping the students do citing in the citation formats that you choose, and then help them to properly choose databases. As faculty, you have access to TextShare, Interlibrary Loan for items that you may need for your courses or for your educational endeavors. We also provide ChatRef, and this is what all the libraries offer, is online virtual reference assistance. So for example, you may have a library that may be only open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You may have your libraries may be open 6 days a week, including Saturday and possibly Sundays. But let's just say, if not, then some of them actually may offer a chat service that has extended hours. So for example, HCC, Houston Community College, the libraries, the full service libraries are open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. We're closed on Sundays, but we do offer Sunday virtual service. So technically, we offer service 7 days a week. And this is a very used feature, is our chat ref. And the students or anyone has access to it from the library's website. There's no login to use to get onto the library's website. So in chat, we will sometimes have questions, not asking about library research stuff, but where's financial aid? Or how do I get into my Canvas? Or I need to pay for a lost book and I need to pay it now because, I live too far away, or the students are out of state, or the students are from other countries, international students. So with your colleges, you do offer online courses, online college. So the libraries do offer virtual chat service. We also all offer research guides, little guides that give you some insight on a particular subject matter. And then there too, it's good for you to browse through those because your librarians can actually create specific ones for your individual classes, not just on the subject, let's say, of cosmetology as an example, or child development as an example. So there are guides that will give some insight on types of physical books, online resources, websites that the person can go to, etc. Next is curriculum support. Here too, back to consultation with librarians. But the curriculum support, again, our goal is to help you meet your course needs. So we can walk you through particular databases, and also, even though on any library's website, if there are new databases being added, it will actually have, let's say, the word new to let you know this new. Or again, you work with your librarian. The libraries, no matter where they are, do have liaisons that are assigned to particular specific subject disciplines. So you could always look at their website to see who is assigned to what, or just phone your librarian and ask, well, I teach government. Who on your staff handles that subject matter? Okay, over here to the right, diverse collection development. So all librarians that are public services librarians do collection development. Each of them is assigned X number of subject disciplines that they're responsible for enhancing that collection. They also do weeding. So things that are out of date and obsolete, they will weed those books out to make room for more current information. This too, I did this not in my current position, but when I was a librarian over at one of the other campuses, I was assigned a lot of subject areas. And one thing I had prided myself on is this bullet right here talking about solicit input from the faculty. I contacted the faculty to let them know that I have been allocated a budget. These are the subject areas I will focus on for this year. I had too many to do all of them, in 1 year. You're only given so much money. So I would do so many in 1 year and then do so many in another year. If it's a real popular one that needs to stay current, then I would work on those on a yearly basis. But I actually would reach out to the faculty. There were three areas that I focused the most where I solicited recommendations. So I would contact the division chair, and then that division chair would send that email out to their respective faculty members asking what's on your wish list, send it to that librarian, and then I would see if I had enough money to purchase what you asked for. And so, for example, when I said I would solicit, I did that with the art, I did that with child development, I did that with cosmetology. So again, the librarians that are public services librarians, some places will call them reference librarians, do collection development. And we're not teaching your classes. Some of us may have knowledge and employment skill set in some of those disciplines, but we need to rely on you to help us build the right type of collection. That way, when your students are given those assignments, they will find exactly what they need. Now, libraries are not just one library. They would have a number of campus libraries. So the online catalog would span all the libraries. So it's one system. So if one's location does not have the book, students can always request books from another campus and have it shipped to another. Same thing as a public library. I'm sure you all have checked out books from public libraries, or you were reviewing to see what was available by searching their online catalog, and you click a button and go, oh, okay, the branch location nearest me doesn't have it, but this one does. I don't want to drive there. So then you place a request, tell it where you want to pick it up. You go there and you pick it up and check it out. Same thing with our academic libraries. Now, I just want to showcase this in my note here. Yes, ACC is a community college, but they have begun 2 bachelor degree programs. There are 2 of them. One of them is located at the Coleman College of Health Sciences. So that is the one, so that degree program is Applied Sciences in Health Management. So it's a BAS degree. And the other is a BAT degree on applied technologies and artificial intelligence or robotics. And that one is at one of my campus libraries at the West Loop campus. So right now what we're having is we're building the collection mostly of electronic resources. A few books, but mostly electronic resources on these topics. Under information literacy, instruction and programs, yes, basic library instruction, but we go beyond that to provide, again, more extensive services in that area where the librarian will actually tailor that particular library instruction to meet that particular assignment. And that is something that I did when I was doing library orientations. So when you go to your library to set up the appointment in person or by phone, you're providing information for that session. I would say it's always very helpful if you let us know if you have issued topics to your students, because we don't want to just do a standard orientation. Oh, this is where you find the hours. This is how you do a keyword search. We want that session with us because you're taking your students from your classroom to go to the library for a session, and we want to make the most of it. So we would like to know exactly what the assignment is. That way it could be tailored. So when the librarian is doing their demonstration, they're using the topic that the students will be looking for theirs. And you can always email that to them as well, and just give them that type of heads up. Some things at ACC, we have a librarian that focuses heavy on the sciences, that she does things like that. And then the very popular thing on fake news. So again, our job is to help support you and what you're doing for your students. So we know fake news, students are grasping for information, not from their library, which they should. They're going out to the internet and Googling stuff, and it's hard to tell what is reputable and what is fake. So at HCC, we do dedicate workshops and programs on fake news that help students make that distinction. We also have librarians that will embed themselves into your courses. That way, the type of instruction they're giving is highly relevant to the courses that you're teaching. And I know for a fact, English 1301 and 1302 are very popular in that regard. So if that's not currently happening at your location, again, set up a meeting and have a conversation with your librarians. Any questions at the moment?
Keitha, I actually thought of one, if I can hop in, if you don't mind me asking. As you're sharing, I always suggest my students, I teach speech or communication studies. So when we're researching our topics, I always encourage my students to go to visit their librarians just to help them with APA source citations and finding good research. Are you finding, especially you mentioned, having instructors leave their textbooks in reserve at the library, are you seeing any shift in library services because of all the discussion of open sources? How do you feel about that, or how is that impacting the libraries?
It's working out fine. Those open resources are actually helpful. They're very, very helpful. So that is a bonus. It's a bonus.
Excellent. That's good to hear, because I always worry about my librarians.
Well, thank you. But back to the physical books on the shelves, I could say for ACC, none of the libraries have that much shelf space to cover every textbook that's for every single course that's taught. Okay. Plus, we do not buy textbooks. Some libraries at some institutions will purchase textbooks, but we do not. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, digital access. So we provide access, librarians, let me just rephrase that. Librarians provide access to digital resources like ebooks and streaming media, because sometimes you actually have those embedded in your courses. You may have a movie for students to watch, or you're telling them to find a movie or documentary that's on a topic or a paper they're working on. So the libraries actually will have streaming media. Now, just to let you know, for a lot of the ebooks and the streaming media and the online databases, the majority of those types of resources are going to be subscription, where subscription means that the libraries are paying for it, and everybody out there will not have not have access. They will have to have their institution login. You know, faculty have their login, students have their login. It's not for the general public. Now, there are some resources, electronic resources, that are open access, that let's say community users anywhere have access to. Now, we do find in our libraries across the board, and even in public libraries, but this is dealing with academics. So in academic libraries, our population also includes the community. Okay, so that when they're on site, everything is networked. So they have full access to everything. They just need to acquire a computer login and create a guest printing account where they add funds onto it. So some of them, especially where I'm at, we get community users, and they basically there almost all day, and they are contributing to us because, one, they're using our computers, they're using our services, they're using our resources, and they're printing. Okay, some of them actually do become students, which is rather nice. So I always tell my staff, you need to be nice to everybody that walks through our doors. This is your home. They are invited in, and make them feel comfortable, make them feel wanted, and help them the best way you can. And then also digital access resources is also extremely helpful for your students that are not in person. Again, we all have students that are from out of state and international students. So we spend more money now on digital resources than we do on physical. Next is innovation technology integration. Okay, so we offer emerging technology. We offer well, the college, a lot of the colleges will offer virtual reality technology. Now we are all dealing with this artificial intelligence. Okay, so I have no words for that at the moment, but is here. It's not going away. So we all need to try to embrace what is happening, and then do our best to make sure that we have the means to make whatever it is available to all of our users. And then also for the instructors that may choose to apply some of this within their courses, is we still also, again, need to make sure that we have everything that we need for all parties to be involved, to have a good learning experience and be successful at what they're doing and offering. Now, libraries in general do offer workshops. Okay, so as things happen, do check again with your library. Check on the website to see if they have any announcements of new things that are happening to help people get up to speed in learning and acquiring all these new skill sets. I could tell you that at HCC, with the artificial intelligence, they have added live webinars. There's no cost for anybody to take any of those. It's on our public website. So people can register for the classes, but they have added GPT as workshops. So again, librarians are here to help. We are here to learn ourselves. And then once we learn that skill set, we can then pass it on to you. Libraries also offer other types of things, assisted technology, ADA, for your students, laptops, Chromebooks, hotspots. So do check with your library to see if they do check out, or first, do they have these types of things in their libraries? That way you can refer your students to the libraries, especially on computers. At HCC, the libraries have laptops and Chromebooks and hotspots, and they're checked out for a semester, the student semester, because not all students have the same ending semester. Some are taking the full 16 weeks or 8 weeks or 4 weeks. So the checkout is based on when their semester ends. But in your classes, some instructors have students using electronic devices in the classroom. So some students are also using tablets, they're using their cell phones, but if their equipment is not working, it's kind of hard for them to work on their assignments. But if you already know that the library does offer those types of services, you can then share that with your students. They would just need to contact the library to see if there's any of those devices available and not all checked out. Other types of equipment also we have at the West Loop campus at the Stafford campus. Students are taking a photography class. So the instructors loaned us some digital cameras because those types of things are expensive and students may not have the funds to buy them. So they know that the instructors will send a list of the students to the library, and circulation handles that. So every semester, the division chair will send a list to the library of the students. So when a student comes, they need to bring proper identification. We check the list for their name, and then we check out the device to them for 3 weeks. And then we then ask the instructor if the student still needs it, if we can extend it to the student. It's not an automatic renewal because they're limited in supply. Copyright and IP, intellectual property. One of the jobs I had was at Thompson Dialogue, and I was a corporate trainer. So I had engineering, I had a whole lot of other areas I was responsible for libraries, and most of my clientele were businesses. And I had a lot of law firms where I was teaching the employees and attorneys and whoever else they had on staff how to do copyright, patent, and trademark searching. So in the world of printed materials and electronic materials, copyright is an issue. So in those library orientations, the librarian, when they're conducting your sessions, they do bring up the copyright, the plagiarism, and take it from there, especially if they think they can take a book to a photocopy machine and photocopy the whole book. That's not going to happen. But within the educational law, you can print off some, an article and provide us a copy of it. And then since it's used for educational purposes and only one copy can be made, the students can come to us, and this is something you can put on reserve as well as articles. Print off the article, bring it to the library, and then we can hand it to the student to make their copy at the photocopy machine. Okay, so we do have that happen quite a bit at our ACC campuses, and I'm sure this is happening at other educational institutions as well. And then also when we're dealing with electronic sources, those ebooks, we have no control over that. That's set by the vendor, but each electronic resource will let us know. It will state on there, and the student sees that they're only allowed to print so many copies, or they're only allowed to download so many chapters. only one user at a time, or 10 users at a time, or unlimited users. So even electronic information online, like for example, ebooks, they will state the copyright policy by the vendor. And for our libraries, all the libraries, your libraries, you will have librarians who are serving on database committees where they are reviewing other sources to possibly add. So this is where we highly encourage you to definitely have your students use your library services for their research, because money has been spent. Those committee members are evaluating those sources for their credibility and authoritativeness. So, that's the best way for students to, get the right type of material, is using what the libraries have to offer. For collaborative learning spaces, it depends on the library. It also depends on the amount of space of the library, but some of them will have study rooms, possibly inside the library. Some of them may have external study rooms where the students or faculty member can go to reserve a room. Some of them actually have maker spaces and other types of things to help people learn things. There's a site that has sewing machines, and people will come and they will have little patterns and they're learning how to sew. They also are able to check it out and take it home because one of the courses is fashion merchandising, etc. So students are designing outfits and may not be able to afford a sewing machine, but some libraries may offer that equipment and other types of services for people to be able to check out for a certain period of time to be able to do their school projects, including 3D printing as well. For Houston Community College, something new has happened. They created these digital access centers with modern furniture, computers that students could use inside those spaces, etc. So spaces have been designed to better fit the needs of people wanting to do their work, to collaborate and do some brainstorming and work on projects together. So various types of rooms have been redesigned to offer that type of feel and that ability to be able to do those things. Community engagement initiatives. Yes, your librarians do not just stay at the library. They are out and about. They are on numerous committees, helping out student services. That's one thing I love when I was at the previous campus I was at. Where I'm at now, the staff and I will take part in a lot of student services and community events. It's a presence. It gets us to have ourselves out there. We provide different resources and literature and answer a whole lot of different types of questions to bring visibility to the library. So we want to be known. We want people to know that we offer a lot of things to help you be successful in whatever you're doing. So there's a lot of partnerships with different groups, with libraries, and that I would just say that's just across the board. We also have ones that offer different like book clubs, author talks. When I was at the Eastside campus, I did something on a monthly basis, and I started off with showcasing our faculty that also were authors. So the entire ACC community, including people that were, from the community, not just ACC community, but as employees and students, also those in the area, were welcome to come to a free event to hear that faculty member talk about a book they had that was published and share that. And then it evolved to not just that, but to also to showcase various departments. And then after a while, I did that for a number of years, departments were contacting me to say, can they be on my monthly list to be next to come showcase what their department is about to others. And I have to tell you that what made me very happy with that is you never know who's going to be attending. Okay. It could be somebody who never thought that they could be interested in let's say, cosmetology or the culinary arts. I did one with the culinary arts department at our central campus. And they included as part of their presentation, they cooked a little meal, prepared a meal for people to taste test. Well, one of the attendees was someone from the community. They were so happy about that they decided to register to the culinary school. So we are ambassadors, if I may say, to bring new students. Okay. We also offer cultural reading clubs as well, where students could qualify for a scholarship. This is what we do at HCC. And plus they get a copy of that cultural book for that month. We also hold things inside the library, like Women's History Month just had occurred. So we do cultural events. We'll put out literature. We'll set out some books that students could, and anybody coming to the library that is a student, faculty, or staff can peruse the offering and actually take a book from there and actually check it out. Okay. Feedback and assessment. Well, when you do things, you do need your feedback. So we do keep statistics. All libraries keep statistics on how many orientations occurred, how many people came into the library, how many books were checked out, how many books were placed on request. That one library didn't have it, but another library did. That also helps us know if we need to build up a collection. If we're finding that a certain subject matter, students are finding those books at other campus libraries, then that way the librarian decides who does that discipline, let's say history, would then order some books, either those books or books related to that. So we do assessments. What we did recently at Houston Community College on our website, we had a link to an online library survey. And it is now closed, and over 2,000 entries were received. So we are very happy about that. And now we are working on trying to figure out what type of mechanism we're going to use to process that information. And what you see over here to the right, that is me, by the way. I love community events. I've done something with the prior college I was at over at Eastside's campus. Student services, went over to the food bank. I enjoyed that experience, but this was the joy of my life over at Eastside. I don't know if they still have it or not, but at the time, the years I was there, they had a daycare center. And in the daycare center, I would do a summer reading program with the children, and even the ones that are preschool or the ones that are in kindergarten or something like that. The reason is I was trying to help them prepare themselves to enhance their reading levels. And then for the little ones that are not ready to read, I would give them a book and help them with their presentation skills and have them give us a story about the book based on what you see on the pages, the pictures on the pages. And then at the end of the summer, the children that participated, I would give them a certificate of completion. And this is a reflection of Dr. Seuss celebration. And yes, I had put on a cat in a hat costume. And the one down below with the Dr. Seuss books, this was in the summertime. And I got to tell you, wearing that cat outfit, it was like a sauna. But I still smiled. The kids loved it. The picture above, the word got out, and then there was an event held at the college a different year, and it was open to the community. The one down below was for the children in the daycare center. So they received some takeaways, and then some refreshments. But again, the one above near the podium, that was a community event, and a lot of children had turned out for that event. So we will do whatever it takes to get the word out. Okay, next is professional development. So like you, librarians are also required to do professional development. At HCC, faculty members are given professional development funds where the adjunct faculty can apply for a grant, not in the same amount, but they can apply for a grant to obtain some funding. But at Houston Community College, faculty members get $2,000 a year towards professional development, membership, things like that. So the librarians are considered faculty, not considered, librarians are faculty members at HCC, and I was a faculty member. When I accepted the job to be a library director, I lost my status as faculty, so now I'm staff. So I did not qualify this time for professional development fund be paid, by the college. So I had to ask for funding to do some things. But with your professional development funds, it's a way for all faculty to enhance their skill sets and their knowledge and to stay current with certain industry trends by attending certain conferences and industry meetings. So we have faculty members, our librarians, that do present at different types of events. We have them presenting and attending various conferences, professional meetings at the college, off-site, out of state. ACC has a library training academy. I'm over here in the right side column. I have chaired the library training academy for a number of years, and the employees are required, the full-time employees are required to acquire at least 12 hours of training credit per year. And 6 of that has to come from what we offer. So we also have library assistants as well, who have various types of degrees. They just choose to have those positions. So I always like to approach all staff to find out who is skilled in some area and if they're willing to put together a presentation and offer a workshop. Okay, promotion and advocacy, always going to be important. Your librarians definitely will serve on various types of committees, not just library committees, but also on marketing and departmental committees, college committees. So we are able to participate and be actively involved and enhance what we do to be able to provide you more types of services. For leadership and governance, we have librarians that serve in various leadership roles. I am with TCCTA, so I'm on their professional development committee. And I think for 5 years now, I have been a co-chair for the library section of TCCTA. In my past life, I was, chair at the American Library Association, the Texas Library Association, and served on various committees at the college as well. So here's this list. And then we also have CALLR, which is the Consortium of academic libraries and learning resources. So a number of your librarians are caller members. And there is the spring meeting being held at the HCC Felix Fraga campus on Thursday, April the 11th. So some of your librarians will actually be at that meeting. But it's comprised of the 2-year community colleges and in the greater Gulf Coast area. And we also have University of Houston, a 4-year that is a member of Caller. We also have librarians that attend and are presenter at non-library conferences, for example, Popular Culture Association. We have librarians that attend the Faculty Senate meeting. We have librarians that are division delegates. They added libraries on, which was nice. Because we are faculty, so they added us on. So we have representation as delegate and at-large members. And a year ago, one of our librarians was actually the Faculty Senate president. We also had a former library director that had left being a library director and took the position at ACC to be the SACS director. So we are present, we are here, and it's nice to be noticed and recognized and valued. And I have to tell you about TCCTA real quick. This year in February the 29th through March the 2nd, TCTA held their 77th annual convention. Well, libraries was not a section for those 77 years. TCCTA added library on a library section 12 years ago in 2012. What happened before then? I can say that I would be at TCTA, whether in Frisco, in Houston another year. There was no library section. So what did Keitha do? Well, Keitha did collection development. I had welding, I had cosmetology, I had a whole lot of different subjects, sign language. So at the TCCTA convention, I went to those division meetings. One, to get me up to speed on what was happening in those industries. That way I could better serve my faculty in those areas once I returned to campus. Testimonial. I just want to show you this. At my two of my 3 libraries, on the dry erase boards, we put on there the topic title of the power of librarians. So the question to them is, what do they think librarians do for them? So this is from, this screenshot is from the Stafford campus. So what I did over here to the right, I typed out exactly, that's why I have it in quotation marks, exactly what the students had written on the board, which was very nice to know that some of them do know what we can do for them. Also, depending on what's on there, that would help us know something that we need to address as well. And this last one here, somebody had put on there that they want some graphic novels. Well, I will tell you this, I'm going to make sure that happens in the next fiscal year. This one's from our West Loop campus. The responses were very mature, I will say that. And these students know exactly how librarians benefit them. And that's something I really, really liked. Okay. This is something I want you to have as a takeaway, is for you to think about, or if you don't mind, if a few of you would like to share verbally. That's why I have here live faculty comments. How do you feel librarians help you be successful?
I can tell how they've been successful for me.
Please.
Clark Library, my alma mater, San Jose State University. I'm from San Jose, California originally. I'm on the other coast. I'm Californian, but they're in Silicon Valley. But my my home library, the Clark Library. One thing is my home school, San Jose State, they do offer an MLS degree, a Master's of Library Science. And the librarians there and all those people helped me when I was doing my bachelor's and master's. They were outstanding, interlibrary loan and so on. Also, when I was working on my PhD at Texas Tech in beautiful Lubbock, the library, yes, there you go. Yeah, my wife used to work in Levelland, so that's how I know Levelland. Yes, I do. Yeah, you know what, so and we lived in Lubbock, so beautiful Levelland, South Plains College. So yes, so I just got to say, through my education experience at San Jose State and then at Texas Tech, librarians were integral to my success, no doubt.
Thank you for sharing. Somebody next.
I want to pop back in too and just, we talk about how we utilize our libraries individually if we're putting together some research or if our students need resources and help. I mentioned before, communication studies is my discipline. So as my students do their persuasive speech in particular, I get them toward the databases like opposing viewpoints, and I always recommend they go to the library. But an interesting thing I also teach what you would call like a capstone course. And I had a student who ended up presenting at TCCTA in Houston last year. And part of his research, he was like, I need access to this research in this article, but I can't get it. And so I was able to help him and assist him through interlibrary loan to get access to the research he needed to present at conference. So I am, again, I think we can utilize it in ways we didn't even know we needed to. And it was really beneficial to him to learn how to use interlibrary loan in that respect.
Thank you. Next. Don't be shy. Is there anything in the chat that someone made a comment? Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, thank you for those who verbalize their feeling on how librarians have enhanced their success. So I do definitely appreciate that. Okay, so in conclusion, overall, librarians serve as invaluable partners to you, the faculty, by supporting your teaching, your research, your scholarly communication activities, while also advancing the broader mission of the academic institutions. Librarians wield power and influence. So here are our superheroes. You may recognize them in your libraries at your campuses, okay? We're here, we're on a mission. We have a goal. Our goal is to serve you. Our goal is to serve your students. And we are equipped educational-wise, employment-wise, skill set-wise. We are equipped. We know where to find the information, okay? So visit us and let us know how we can continue to help you advance through your personal growth, the growth of your curriculum, your students' needs. That's why we're here. We're here to serve because we are knowledgeable. And so I have here the library superhero, where it says, we are librarians and we know the answers to questions you don't even know to ask. Okay, so with that said, are there any questions?
Hey, this is Bradley with Lee College, actually Lee College Huntsville Center, and I just wanted to say excellent presentation. As a librarian myself, serving our community of actually our students who are incarcerated. We have our main campus in Baytown, but we also have our Huntsville Center here. I am encouraged by your presentation, and just it's great to hear and receive everything that you were able to present today, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Bradley. thank you for that. I feel blessed and I feel happy, and I feel I feel I was meant for this job, to serve and help people advance their needs. Because when I was teaching the library science class, that's why I preferred to teach in person, and I gave up after 9 years of not doing online. I needed to see their faces. Part of it was them to be able to navigate within a library, to be able to find a book on the shelf and not just go to the reference desk and say, I need a book. Well, in my class, you learn how to search the online catalog to find that book. Okay, so
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
that was very, very, very important for that. And then have them say, well, somebody was struggling and they helped somebody else.
Absolutely. That's kind of basically been my main focus here. I've only been doing this position. I've been in this position for about a year and a half. Coming up in October, it will be 2 years. And, you know, been really pushing and trying to basically promote, you know, teaching our students how to fish. And fish for themselves, because as soon as they understand that they can actually find and access and utilize the resources that they do have access to, you know, they are going to be that much better off once they are able to get out into the free world and know that, hey, well, where do I go and what do I need? You know, maybe I not necessarily can get into a school right away or continue my education. Oh, I can go to my local library and learn what I learned while they were with us. So again, teaching people how to fish for themselves is something that we've been promoting, and it's always something I will always encourage others to do. And thank you again for your presentation. Loved it.
Thank you. I don't think we have time for me to show you just what the website looks like, but do visit your library's website and see what they offer the students, see what they offer the faculty. Again, on ours, we do have added webinars that students can get a credit from their instructors. We also have the OER, we have electronic and streaming sources. We have links to, and this is also at your institutions as well. Your library's website will also have links for you to request library orientations. It will have you, you can click for consultations as well. So definitely peruse your library's website. And if you got questions, always contact that librarian for assistance. I just have this right here. I'm giving credit because that's something I always do. When people help me out a little bit or whatever it is, I like to acknowledge them. But since I know this was being recorded and probably going to be out there in internet land, no names are included. Okay. I have to be careful with identity theft. So their names are not here, but I just acknowledging all my colleagues, and I acknowledge TCTA because Vicki Van Nest, Dr. Vicki Van Nest, our wonderful new TCTA executive director, had contacted me and asked me to do this presentation. So, and I love serving on the committee. So if people, again, if you're not on a committee, TCCTA has plenty of committees, and they're always looking for wonderful people who are interested in serving. I'm just beginning to learn a little bit about ChatGPT, and we do have librarians and library assistants who are very versed in this, and I always get them to do presentations. A staff member from one of the college's campuses mentioned about the computers in libraries. That happened in March, but the link I have here is to all their recordings for those days. So, you know, take a look at it and see if you or your colleagues might make some use of some of those recorded presentations from that conference. And the library assistant I'm referring to, no, we had a librarian who did a presentation at this 2024 TCCTA on academic integrity of AI. So this is one of the articles that she had provided for it. And we had standing room only. People were sitting on the floor. They were standing up for our presentation. The one before that was teaching teaching the boring to the uninterested. There were people out in the hallway trying to listen. It was overwhelming, and they had no idea at the beginning it was the library section. So I'm going to be contacting Vicki to let her know the way the program this time was published. It did not put labels. I don't like labels. It had no labels. It didn't say history. It didn't say biology. It didn't say cosmetology. It did not say library. Because when people see library, their head is, oh, they're here to talk amongst themselves. No, this is my 5th year co-chairing the library section. We always have presenters who are faculty members, work either by themselves or work in unison with a librarian. We pick topics that will generate your interest, and then you come to us to get the information afterwards. So that program had no label on it, and it was people sitting on the floor, I'm not kidding, in the hallway, leaning over, trying to see past somebody else on both those presentations. So it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, good. That is a good point, Keitha. I wanted to pop in, and I was going to have Armani take those notes down so that we can remember. I know we got some great evaluations about, hey, we need bigger rooms for our certain speakers such as this that would really impact across all disciplines and have a giant crowd. So.
Well, I have my notes. I have to retype them, but and submit them. But
yeah, share them. Actually, share them with me if you don't mind. Many of you may have heard, but we'll actually be transitioning to a new executive director again this summer. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those after the fact. But
okay, thank you for that.
We are taking notes of everything. We've gotten great evaluations and great, critiques for improvement for our convention next year. And we want to bring back some of those things, like the program was really important too. So
yes, it was nice where it was listed by date, and the titles of the programs were listed alphabetical.
Absolutely, yeah. I think
no labels, and people say, and even at the end, they say, the librarians put this together.
Right. How can you be shocked, right?
That's why you have us.
We're superheroes, remember?
We're super. Thank you.
Awesome.
So
my presentation. We will definitely look forward to your notes. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So in this one, I say now to the faculty members, I began off with a title that said, put the power of librarians behind you. I'm ending this by saying, put the power of librarians beside you. We want to walk hand in hand with you on whatever endeavors, initiatives that you're working on, because we can help you. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Armani and Will, for getting us set up with Keitha today and making sure that this professional development continues. And so thank you all for being here. Will, or did anyone need to say anything else before we go?
I was just going to say thank you, Keitha. It was a great presentation, actually. I loved it.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording right now.
For anyone that wants to go back and watch it, this will be up on YouTube later on today. So I'll be posting that on our website so you guys can come back if you want to.
Just want to say great job. It's really outstanding.
Thank you very much.
I know.
Take care. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you again.
Hey, Armani. So did you stop the recording?
Not yet.